Hello again and welcome back to some climbing news. We got Will Bosi trying silence, Felipe Camargo with a monster first ascent, and more. So yeah man, as always, asking you to do the whole like, subscribe, comment thing if you dig these Climbing World updates, want to help me out, and yeah, start the show. And starting us off today, huge news out of Brazil as Felipe Camargo has finally sent his big project, the now named Abaporu, for which he has proposed the French 9B grade, or 515B, if you're the American persuasion. And honestly, Matt, if you've been following Felipe on the gram, he's been updating his followers on this thing for a while. I gotta say that this is a king line. Stunning work from a guy who has been at the absolute forefront of Latin American climbing for what feels like forever at this point. And you know, I could do the whole he took whatever amount of days and sent it the last minute thing, but it's every climbing news story anyways, and to be honest, I couldn't give less of a shit. So instead, I want to talk about the name, Abaporu, which is far more interesting. Because if you don't know, Abaporu is the name of one of the most famous Brazilian paintings, a painting by Tarsila do Amaral, who created it as a birthday gift for her husband, Oswald de Andrade. This painting is directly what inspired Oswald de Andrade to create the anthropophagic movement, which is a Brazilian artistic manifestation from the 1920s, at the center of which lay the idea that foreign culture, techniques, and ideas should be swallowed, quote unquote, and turned into something culturally unique, something specifically, well, Brazilian. And yeah, that's basically what Felipe Camargo has managed to do, not just with this end, but also with his climbing in general. I mean, he's taken something foreign to Brazil, climbing, and with the ascent of one of the hardest lines in the continent, created something very Brazilian. I mean, a few years ago, climbing wasn't something anyone would ever associate with that country. But now the country has an 8C/V15 boulder problem. It's hosted its first World Cup this year, and now has one of the hardest sport climbs in the world. If you ask me, that's a pretty freaking great name for a route. So yeah, man, massive congratulations to Felipe Camargo. Incredible stuff what he's been doing for the Brazilian climbing scene, and yeah, it's super exciting to see what's in store for the future of climbing in Latin American countries, man. Like, level is just skyrocketing. And then my nemesis is injured or sick. Something is wrong with Jules Marchaland. He's one of a lot of very, very, very strong people out in Flatanger. He's been trying Kangaroo's dyno. It's an old Abaporu project, which if that sounds familiar, that's because it's essentially the same route as Kangaroo's Limb, a 9A+/515A, which was done by Alex Magos not too long ago. So originally, Abaporu bolted Kangaroo's dyno as a big old jump, hence the name, right? I mean, like, duh. But when he wasn't able to land the dyno, like, at all, he realized he could basically pull a Tommy Caldwell on the Dawn wall and just kind of sort of go around it. So that's how Kangaroo's Limb was born. It basically traverses left, goes up, and then traverses back in right, finishes on the jug of Kangaroo dyno. In other words, Kangaroo's Limb is kind of a piece of shit. Anyways, back to Jules. He uploaded a video of himself doing the dyno, but he's also apparently got some sort of issue with a nerve in his back that won't let him lift his right leg, like, at all. And he's been sick for 6 days straight. And, well, yeah, he's not managing to get on the route, like, for very obvious reasons. Hopefully the nerve thing goes away and he heals up soon. I'm not sure if he's still in Flatanger, how long he's going to be there for, if he's going to be staying there for a while. I have no idea. But it would be really cool to see a rad FA in that cave. It feels like everyone's all about repeats these days, so I don't know. Could be cool. And speaking of repeats in Flatanger, Will Bosi's trying silence. That's the news. That's the news. A strong climber tries climbing hard thing. Why do people even watch this show? Like, what the hell? But back to Will. Like, he's made some pretty big links already, climbing with pretty bad conditions apparently, and yet he uploaded a video of himself looking at the end of the climb. So everything past the crux feet first sequence that everyone knows and is super famous, which is incredible progress given he's only been there for a couple of days. Apparently he's done everything except 4 moves on the crux, 2 of which he claims will likely go once he figures out the toe jams. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how he does on this thing. Apparently he's using Stefano Ghisolfi's beta and not Adam's for the crux. So if you're curious to see what that looks like, links in the description down below to Stefano's channel. But yeah, TLDW, Stefano's uses a little pocket off to the side that Adam doesn't. Adam just kind of contorts his knees in ways that no human should be able to contort. It's both impressive and frankly disgusting. What the fuck was that? It is gross though. But I mentioned Stefano not just because Will Bosi's out in flat anger using his beta for silence, but because he has just gotten the 8th repeat of Flow State, that Pietrovidi 8C Plus that was downgraded by Adam Andra to 8C/V15, which we talked about last week when it was also sent by Matteo Marozzi. This is Stefano's 4th ever 8C boulder. It seems the dude is kind of hell-bent on trying more of them, so it should be interesting to see what he does once the cold temps come. I know I memed the shit out of Alphane for being a traverse in my 9A/V17 rankings, but one, it's pretty freaking rad anyways, like, to be very truthful. And two, if anyone's strong enough to give that thing a repeat right now, it's probably Stefano. It'd be pretty dope to see him on that, so hopefully he gets on it. Hopefully he sends. Be cool to see also just kind of like his process on his YouTube, so be cool. Next, and this is the quickfire 8C boulder sends round, okay? Lots of them being done, because let's be real here, grand scheme of things, 8C/V15, probably not that hard. There's your hot take for the day. I genuinely think in 20 years we're gonna look at V15 the way we see V10. Like, you know, big of a deal in the 80s, but that's about it. Maybe I'll make a video about that, who knows. Point is, Jorge Diaz Rullo just sent Trio con Charlotte, an 8C/V15 in La Pedriza, Spain. My home crack, man. Yay. Love it. Love that place. If you want to know what he climbed, it's a link up of a link up of a link up, and in all honesty, it's kind of trash. But it's probably the hardest ever down climb move, so that's kind of cool, I guess. Good on Jorge for the send. Link to Pablo Zamora's FA video is in the description for the curious. The boulder basically reverses the moves of Charlotte, which is an 8B plus that Adam Andra almost flashed a few months ago. Dude lost his pants there somewhere, so maybe Jorge found them, channeled the energy. I don't know. I'm not here to judge or throw him around baseless accusations. I'm just saying maybe had I been the one that found the pants, I'd be climbing a lot harder. I should have gone looking for them. I should stop before this segment gets any weirder. Yeah. Anyway, Sam Pryor, British Limestone. He's British too. Hard climbs, 8C, V15, Badger Cove. That's the name of the crag, not the boulder he did. The boulder he did is an old Bosi FA called Trance. It's very hard. Very, very, very hard. It's also tops out amongst trees and a whole bunch of other crap. It's the 7th repeat of this boulder. Trance is like right next to Honey Badger, which is one of Will Bosi's only 8C plus sends, which is kind of weird when you think about it. Like, dude's only gotten 6 of them, 2 of which he downgraded, so more like 4 of them. And yeah, he's done 5 9As/V17s and 28 8Cs. Weird, he just skipped a grade. And Sam Pryor, I'm supposed to be talking about Sam Pryor, not Will Bosi. But he did a great job. He climbed the rock, the ugly, ugly, ugly British limestone rock. Good for him. We're moving on to another repeat of Creature from the Black Lagoon, 8C plus/V16. Great name. Yeah, this boulder was sent about a week ago by a 15-year-old child, and now has gotten yet another repeat by Chris Cosser, making this a boulder that's been sent 16 times. A 16th ascent of a 16. It's like poetry or something. Only other one with more repeats is Sleepwalker, and yet this one hasn't ever really gotten much media attention, despite the fact that it's a very cool looking cave and it's long and rad, and it was probably one of the first 8C pluses ever. It's kind of weird. I don't know. Anyways, if you want to check out what Creature looks like, I recommend you look it up because it is a really cool boulder. Anyways, congratulations to Chris for his send for his first ever 8C plus. Good to see people breaking into a new grade. Speaking of which, Tomoa Narasaki just put up an Instagram post of him sending a Burden of Dreams replica and making it look disgustingly easy, like stupid freaking easy. It makes me think I could do it easy. And look, that man just does not climb outside, like ever. But when he does, he wrecks shit up. Like, does anyone remember Gakido? Am I pronouncing that right? I don't know. I don't speak Japanese. But do we remember what happened? In case you don't, get comfy. It's story time. So look, 2022, Shinichiro Nomura sends Gakido to just 8C plus/V16. Then it gets repeated by Yuichi Murai, who gives it 8C/V15 a couple months later. Then 2023 rolls around, it's December, and Tomoa goes out and flashes it. Then he talks to both Shinichiro and Duichi, and everyone agrees that the boulder is probably more like 8B plus /V14, because at that point, flashing 8C was just not something that was in the cards. It was only like 2 years ago. But still, not only did Tomoa flash what was at that point thought to be an 8C boulder problem, he also added a sit start to it on the same day. And look, all that would be very impressive if we were talking about it being an outlier, but it's freaking not, okay? Look, Tomoa's done 3 outdoor 8B plus boulders, V14. He flashed Decided and Gakido, and he did Hoto, first go, after trying the moves. His 8C boulders are Ashurado, which he did in like 3 or 4 tries, and then Asagi Madara, which is also 8C, and he did in 3 goes. My point is, if there is anyone in the world who might have a shot at doing Burden incredibly quickly, it's Tomoa Narasaki. After that, all that's left is to talk about whether or not working on a replica takes away from how quickly you do a boulder. Like, if he were to flash Burden having sent the replica, would it be a flash? And honestly, at this point, I personally don't know. I really haven't made up my mind about it. Though, if people want to go at it in the comments, please do. Help stir up that engagement. Let me know what you guys think, because I don't know. On the one hand, it makes sense that it wouldn't be a flash. On the other, it's just still not the same thing, because, you know, the rock is different. You know, it's too 3D, like we're talking about a like 2D wall. I don't know. You guys let me know in the comments. But hey, that was some climbing news. Thanks as always. Just reminding you guys again to like, subscribe, all that stuff if you haven't done so and want to keep getting these Climbing World updates. I will see you guys again on Thursday, unless like nothing happens in the Climbing World. But until then, of course, and as always, climb some stuff.